Target setting's easy, yeah? Target setting's easy. Target achieving's the secret. How do you achieve your target?
Hello, my name's Nathan Brake. I'm the creative director of VidMedia, a creative contents agency. It's my privilege to welcome you to Legacy Conversations. This channel exists to share the journeys of incredibly successful individuals, to pass on the lessons that they've learned, the mindsets that they've adopted, and the disciplines that they've developed in order to get to where they are today. My hope is that in sharing these journeys, we can learn from them and apply these same principles to our own growth in order to quicken it, so that we too can create lasting legacies. This week I'm speaking with Jim Leishman, a wonderful man, former professional footballer and current Provost of Fife. Jim has led a very full life and is full of stories. I really enjoyed listening to him talk about how he goes about setting goals, how he brings people along with him, and his approach to leadership. Enjoy. Well, Jim, thank you so much for being here with me today. Really appreciate it. Looking forward to hear a lot of your stories. If you could start by taking us back to what was life like for you growing up?
It was very enjoyable, actually. I had two brothers, older brothers. I was the youngest, and an older sister. But my parents were, my dad was a coal miner. After the army, he went to the Fife coal mines, the coal fields. My mother was a mother to start with, and she ended up working in Edinburgh at Roundtree's chocolate factory, which was great on a Friday. The reject sweets, we all got them. Well, I got some of them because my brothers used to steal the best ones for me, because I was the youngest, and that's lived in my memory for them. But great. At that time, Nathan, when I was growing up, it was different. Your era and the ones now, it's all computerized, it's all iPads and doing that. We didn't have that. We didn't have mobile phones. My God, we didn't have a phone in the house. Never mind a mobile phone. And so you had to make your own enjoyment there. And luckily, where I stayed, there was a lot of guys my age, boys my age, that went on adventures. So it was a really good upbringing.
Yeah. Do you think there's it's more beneficial to not have any of that technology for young kids growing up?
No, I think you've got to make progress in life. You know, it's like my profession, football. It's progressed since I was a young player, a young manager. So we have to move with the times. We have to move with progress. So I don't object to that. It's just I object to them completely forgetting the other side and no going out and going to the swimming pool, going to the park to play football or rugby or whatever they want to do. Sometimes I see them, and it's my grandkids are the same. They spend too much time on their phones, on their iPad games, etc. So that is my only object, not about progress. That's great.
Brilliant. And so when did your passion for football start to emerge?
Oh yeah, boy. My first real game was at primary school, and my first coach was the assistant head mistress, Mrs. Reid. She organised two games against one. I think it was St. Patrick's in Lochелly, and the other one was Hillybeath. And I remember going to Hillybeath to play, and we got beat something like 11-0 or 13-0. But even that, I still enjoyed it, just going out and playing. And after that, it was never really. I was athletic as a youngster. I was quite fast, quite big and strong. When I went from the primary school to the high school, I couldn't get a game in the first year team. I had to go in goals to play. So, I didn't have the confidence then. But then I started practicing. I started going out, and I eventually got a game outfield. My first game outfield for the school, I scored 6 goals, and then so the teacher kept me outfield, and I started playing. And I played for a team called Town Hall Boys Club, and I played for the scout team. So my whole weekend was the school team in the morning, the scouts in the afternoon, and then on the Sunday I played with Town Hall Boys Club.
Wow.
And we won. We eventually, under 16 level, we won the Scottish Juvenile Club across in Edinburgh. We beat everybody to win the cup, and that was great.
Wow.
I'm still friendly with them yet, all the pals.
That's brilliant.
It was great. It was a great time.
Did your parents kind of encourage that passion?
My mum was a busy housewifey at the start, because looking after us all growing up and whatever. And but my dad always encouraged us, Nathan, go and do your best. Just try your best. Give it a go. You can do it. Try it. So he was great. He was a great mentor. I would say he was my first real mentor in my life, as it was my father. Eh? And once I progressed, Nathan, and got into the Scottish International team, my mum and dad went to see the games. They would come and they were so proud. One of the parents, that their son was playing, they had a car, so they would take them to the games. So it made you feel great that they came in. And then when I went to become a senior, a professional, well, they come to the games. And then as a manager, mum and dad went to all the games, home and away. It was great. Really proud of them.
Wow.
It gives you a great feeling that they care. They care about you and they're encouraging you. My dad wouldn't say much about it, you know. Even if we got beat 2 or 3, he wouldn't say that. He would just say, well, we'll have to sort it out for next week. But I knew what he meant. That was rubbish. You better sort it out for next week. You'll get paid off. No, they were great.
Wow.
Really good parents.
Do you have any kind of lasting advice that kind of sticks with you from your father?
Encouragement, I would think. You know, my parents, I never, you know, my dad would go like that. Hey, come on, that's not good enough. He never hit us on the head for anything. He didn't need to do that with us, because we respected them. But the advice he gave me is to give it a go. You'll never know until you give it a go. That's what he used to say. You'll never know until you give it a go. And I always gave it a go. At the school, you know, I'm talking about sports and athletics and whatever. Academic. I was okay. I could have done better at the academic side, but it was always the sporting side of it. Because I was good at it.
Yeah.
I was good at sports. I was good at athletics. I was good at football. I was good at. I was in the top 4 at fencing, the foil, in Scotland. So, you know, because I took part, it was great.
Wow.
So anything I'd always give it a go once. I'm not saying I would try it again second time if I didn't like it.
Yeah.
But it was good.
Good. And did you want then to play professionally? Were you like, that is my career, that's what I want to do?
From I was 14, I
Right.
would say this would be a great career. And I was attracted when I played for the international team, Scotland international team, at youth level. I was attracting attention from other big teams. Dunfermline were a big team at that time, but that is when I thought, well, this would be great. It'd be a great, something I would really want to do.
Wow.
It was super. No regrets.
Brilliant. So how long did you play professionally?
I left school on my father, before I go to that, Nathan, if you don't mind, my father, as I said, was a coal miner, and I could have left school the year before. But he says, no, you're staying on to do your hires. I said, Dad, I've got a job, I can go to the football now. Stay on and do your hires. And you never know, if something goes wrong at the football, you've got these qualifications behind you. I'm saying, when I look back now, I said, this is my dad, a coal miner, you know. He had to leave school at 15 or whatever age to go and work to make money for his family and to bring in the bread. And he's telling me to stay at school because he didn't have that opportunity. So I left school on the Friday, started at Dunfermline down the road there on the Monday. 22 senior professionals and 4 apprentices, and I was one of the apprentice footballers.
Wow. What age were you then?
I was 16.
16.
Just after the hires, 16.
Wow.
But I signed when I was 14. as a schoolboy. And because Dunfermline were, in the 60s, 41 games in Europe, 3 cup finals, Scottish Cup finals, and there were a semi-final of the European Cup Winners' Cup. My God, if they did that now, they'd be superstars.
Wow.
But they were a big team. It wasn't easy getting signed for them. You had to have some potential.
Yeah.
And that's what I had probably at that time, the potential to do okay.
So what was it like as a 16-year-old kind of boy going into that kind of environment, footballers, coaches? What was that like?
The discipline was strong, and as I was saying earlier on, the Dunfermline were a big team. You know, they had some of the best players in Europe, and you're training every day with them. So you were learning very quickly. You know, you wouldn't think about that now, but as I said, 41 games in Europe, beating Valencia and Bordeaux and all the big teams, and we were beating them. So you were learning for the players at training every week. So that was great. I think you had to show a lot of respect. You couldn't go in this brass neck and whatever. You know, you had to show them respect, but they were prepared to teach you. I had the best teachers at that time, football-wise, telling you what to do Monday to Friday and Monday to Thursday, and then they would go play with the senior squad, playing against Rangers and Celtic, 80,000 people and whatever, and then you would go and play in the B team, eh? But I wouldn't have swapped it for the world, to be honest.
Wow.
Great fun.
Cool. And so I'm interested to know that kind of pressure when there is like such a big crowd all watching you, all have expectations of you. How do you kind of, being aware of that, still perform and play to the best of your ability?
You mentioned the crowd, right? My biggest crowd, Nathan, was 69,000 people. I was only 17-year-old, 69,000. But you forget about the crowd very quickly. Before it, in the build-up, you've time to look round and say, oh yeah boy, oh yeah boy. But when you walk out at 10 to 3, 5 to 3, and you cross the line, you concentrate on the actual game. The crowd, there could be 6 people in, you could be 70,000 people in. It's so important because your focus is helping your teammate, focusing on possession when you've got it, and focusing on your distribution. That was the focus. And I was quite confident. It didn't really fear me getting it. That's what I wanted to do. And I kept saying to myself, my dad says, right, listen, if you didn't want to do it, get a job. Get a job. Why put yourselves through something and you know what to do it? So very quickly, he was right. This is what I trained for. This is what I'm wanting to do. And I enjoyed it. Sadly, till I was 20, then I had my bad injury. But it was a fantastic experience. To go to the Parkhead against Glasgow Celtic, and then at night you're on the telly at night, Scott Sport it was called, you know. You're watching yourself on the telly and you're sitting there and you make a mistake on the telly and they say, oh, why did I have to show that? But no, it was fantastic, Nathan. It was something I believed I could do. I was believing I could get better, and then I had my tragic injury. But I had that self-belief and the confidence in my own ability to progress. I wasn't early on at 17. You've got so much to learn, but I was prepared to listen. I was prepared to learn, and I was prepared to practice what was getting preached.
Wow! And
that's what got me. I got into the first team at 17-year-old, and that was it because I wanted to do that. Monday to Friday, I wanted to do that at the preparation. And when I got to go and do the performance, I felt, right, I'm ready. I'm ready to perform. And then you made mistakes and whatever, that's life. My God. But the lesser the lesser mistakes you made, the better you were getting.
Wow.
And I knew that I was more confident when I got the ball, and it was great playing against some great players. Great, that's what you're playing against. European Cup winners, Celtic. You were playing against European Cup winners, Cup Rangers, and you're playing against top international players. You're playing. They were all in Scotland at that time. It was great.
Wow. So then, how do you feel or deal with the fact that when you get injured and that's it, that's you done?
I got one injury, Nathan. One when I was 20 against Hearts in the Cup. The rest of the time you would get a knock, or you would get your nails, your big toenails. They would get a scalpel and twist it round, and if you got bad blood in it because your boots were too tight, it would and it would squish out of the shop. But you would play half an hour later. You would just go and play, but never. I got a compound fracture in my right leg, the fibia and the tibia, and the small bone. They could take it out, and when you go to the dentist, you've got the suction. That's what they did with all the wee scrapes. Sucked it all round, put the bone back in, and the big one, they put a metal plate, 5 screws. So it was quite a bad injury. And I never really. I was attracting attention from Liverpool and Leeds when I was 19, 20-year-old, before I broke my leg. Leeds United scout was in, and the manager was in the stand having a look. I'm saying, oh, yeah, boy, 50 grand. It's worth £50,000. Oh, what would that be now? But it didn't work. It didn't happen. It didn't work. And I trained 3 times a day, 6 days a week, 3 times a day. Hard. Trained harder probably then to try and get back. And what was training, I was a good trainer. I liked running. I liked all the weights, everything. I enjoyed it, but no, I couldn't get back. And my football career was fading out at 20.
How did you deal with that?
At first, I'll be all right. I'll get training again, and people have injuries and get back for the injuries. But I was 17 months before I played a serious game again, and then I knew very quickly that I was never going to be the same. And I left Dunfermline and went to Cowdenbeath. Left Cowdenbeath. I played 3 months at a junior level, and I stopped playing. I wasn't enjoying it, and different levels and whatever. And I started playing golf, serious golf, and I was enjoying that. And then 2 pals come and says, "Look, you want to play?" After a year and a bit, hadn't trained, did nothing. He says, "You want to play?" Oh no! Come on, we're needing players. Come on. I said, "Well, and he says, look, just play at the back and just organise everything." And I did that. How old was I? 23 or 24. I was playing and won the junior league in Fife. We won it 2 years in a trot. And I got the manager's job with that junior team. 25, I think. And I went to Kelty, 26. I was the first manager at Kelty Hearts at 26. I was enjoying all this. Then I moved to Dunfermline youth team when I was 26, 27. In terms of the youth team, the manager left to go to Edinburgh, Hibs. A new manager come in, he gave me the reserve team to look after. He didn't do well. Then at 29 I was the manager. At Dunfermline at 29, they were 37, 38.
Wow.
That's when I took over. £50 a week, the manager, £50 a week and 6 litres of petrol. Hey, that was my wages. But it was never about money then. The money, 50 quid, it was pocket money, it was holiday money, it was whatever. It was about. I wanted to get to be the manager. I wanted to be in the programme. It was a centenary year, 1985, and I wanted to be in the programme with the greats, Jock Stein, Ollie Cunningham, and what my name, manager general, even if it was for 6 weeks, 6 months, my name was going to be on that, and that made me very proud. The team that I supported.
Wow.
So I did that. But my first crowd, Nathan, when I took over, it was 675, I think, and I eventually took it up to 13,500 a week.
Wow,
that's a good market.
That's
good
very
business.
Good.
That was a lot of.
And was that ever the plan? So, kind of going into play football, did you think, right, once I've finished the playing side, I'll do the management?
Never. No. At that time, never thought about it.
Oh.
Never thought about that.
Did you have any kind of thoughts of what is beyond professional football? What you want to do?
No, never at that time. Because I was that young. I was never thinking about it. I was only 20-year-old. I was still thinking about going down south to play for Liverpool or Leeds United. You know, they had that's where all the good Scottish players went at that time. You know, Frankie Gray, Alan Hansen, Peter Lorimer, Eddie Gray, Peter Cormack, all the players. I said, I felt I was on track there. Maybe not. Eventually, maybe no Liverpool or Leeds, but they were coming to see me, and I'm saying, right, come on, and trained hard, and prepared hard. You know, but preparation is not getting fit all the time. It's resting. It's getting your mind right. The mindset's got to be right, and the confidence to go out. So that's a preparation.
Were there elements in your life that you chose to sacrifice so that you could be prepared? My pals would go out maybe on a Friday night. My pals would go out on a Sunday. Maybe all day. They would go down to wherever we went, Kirkcaldy. They would dance and enjoy that. But I would never do that. If I had a game on the Tuesday, I wouldn't go out on the Sunday. If on the Saturday, on the Wednesday, that was when my real preparation mentally started on the Wednesday, Thursday, Friday for the Saturday. I'd be in my bed on a Friday at 9 o'clock. If I had a midweek game, I'd get up and maybe go for a walk, come back, and I'd be in my bed at 1 o'clock to 3. I might not sleep, but my legs are resting, I'm resting, and then I'd get up and go to the game, and I'm ready up here. What kind of mental preparation did you need to do?
The first thing you've got to do is prepare yourself that you're good enough, you can do this. Because if you walk out in the park and you have a doubt, that doubt will turn into a mistake, which will turn into a goal. So you've got to prepare yourself first to have the confidence that you can match, no matter who your opponent is, you're going to match them and hopefully get the better of them. A mental attitude is the sacrifice you're saying. You've got to sacrifice some things. Christmas, Hogmanay, I would sit up with my mum and dad, bring the bells in at 12 o'clock, I'd go across the road to where my aunt is, be their first foot, and then go to my bed. I'd be in my bed at 12:30. You know, I wouldn't sit up celebrating. I was never, early on, I was never a big drinker or anything, but you know, and I'd be in my bed, I'd be rested. And that's a big part of the game. You can run, I can get you fit. You know, you might not be a good runner, but there are other ways of getting you fit. Nathan, we can get you, but it's getting you mentally fit. Biggest strength ever. Biggest strength ever. And that's what I did. Because I wasn't want to let my mates down. First of all, I didn't want to let myself down. Then you've got your parents, your pals, and your mates, and your colleagues that you're playing with. You don't want to let them down. Some of the senior ones, when I was young, the senior ones would say, hey, you're getting the same bonus as me. Get it done. You know what I mean? Which is, you're right. I was doing it for experience and just getting in the team. But they had family. They had kids, and this is them. That's their. So you had to be ready. At that time, it was great. Yeah, boy. 17, I didn't fear anything.
Wow.
Didn't fear going and playing. Didn't fear. And get rid of that. Get rid of your own fear and go. And that makes you more relaxed and more capable of performing.
That's brilliant. Love that. And then, so transitioning into management, When did you kind of think, right, I'm going to be a manager and I'm going to go for this?
I first started coaching. A friend of mine, it was a Dunfermline team, the Railway Club. They were looking for and I was only 18-year-old, so I went up and coached them for a wee while. I didn't go on the Saturday because I was playing football, but I did a wee bit coaching with them. And it wasn't until Kelly. When I went back to play junior, I was assistant manager, but and I was contributing to the management side. And sadly, my pal, who was the manager, Tommy Walsh, he passed away. And I got a chance, but I was getting married. My wife was for Kelly, so the Kelly guy says, "Look, Jim, do you fancy taking the Kelly Hares job?" They just went into the junior league. That was their first year. I said, "Oh." And as I say, it was a 24, maybe 25, I can't remember. I took the job and we finished second. Finished second, and then that's when I was 26-year-old, assistant manager at Cowdenbeath at 26. Wasn't ready. I knew after 2 or 3 months I wasn't ready. So that didn't really work out. And then that's when I went to Dunfermline youth team, the reserve team, and then the senior team. And they finished, they were 37th out of 38. I says, 20, people say, "Oh, he's only 29, 20. I can't be any worse than the ones that were there." So I says, "Come on." Changed it all around.
Did you feel any kind of insecurity about the fact that you were so young going into that?
Never thought about it, Nathan. Never thought. That was the last thing in my mind. My thing was, how do I stop this? How do I stop this rubbish? How do I get more fans coming in? 670 people. I had more of a party in my house. Honestly, there were more coming to my parties. And it was, and I think my second game or something, my third game, there was a photograph in the Dunfermline press. And you've got the Dunfermline end, which is that way, and the Cowdenbeath end. And at the Dunfermline, there was a wall round. There's this wee boy playing with his tractor at the game. A photo of him with his tractor. And that really hit home, The editor of the press, sports editor of the press, this is what's happened. They're not interested again, they're here playing with toys. And that broke my heart. 26 players, 24 players or something, I got part-time. I got rid of 11 of them and started building my own team. Introducing my own ways. And then my thoughts came into it then. Teamwork is the biggest strength you've got as a manager. Teamwork. The first thing you do is, I looked at it, right, what can I do, what can I not do? Right, I'll get somebody there, I can get somebody there, I'll get them together, and that's a team. Trust, teamwork, trust, and communication. You've got to communicate. If you don't communicate with these guys, if they think you're hiding secrets or you're not telling the truth, and that's where the trust come in, then you've got a chance. Because instead of one guy who's broken down, you've got 3 guys, you've got to break the 3 of them down. Bigger strength. Instead of a brick, it's a block. And that's what I did. I got people in that could do things better than me, and I let them do it. And I brought players in. You've got to assess the player coming in. Can you does he improve your team? If he brings it in, it doesn't improve it, you stay the same. So I brought good players in. I didn't have much budget. I didn't have much of a budget, but I brought good players in. And the players that were there, they're saying, "Oh, this is getting better. This is getting better. I'm going to join in." And we all joined in. So my first full year, I was third. I missed out in the last game to get promotion my first full season. I'm glad I didn't, because the next year we won the championship because I improved it again. The next year we went right up to the Premier League, consecutive seasons, by bringing better players. They changed the system then to 3 teams getting relegated, and we were second bottom. We would have stayed up usually, but we finished second, we got relegated. And then I built it again and won the championship and stayed up. Got them to the semi-final of the Cup, the first time since the 60s at Hampden. Brilliant.
Wow.
And that was, and the crowds, we were getting there, and the first time we went up in the Premier League, we were averaging maybe 10,000 people. We got relegated. I started building a stronger team again. George O'Boyle, Esteban Cosma, boys that were in the scenes of the international, the fans were saying, hey, what's happening here? And I was getting third. You what do your sums, Nathan, eh? 670. Out of that, my first game, 40 of them were complimentaries. So say 600 paying averaging £8, or 13,500 averaging 12 quid. If you do your sums on that, and that was in a short period of time, 4 years.
Wow.
And you were getting to quarter-finals of cups and semi-finals of cups. So the punters loved it. Then I left in 1990.
What aspects of your character kind of did you notice kind of developing over that period?
Initially, in the early days, I would go in and start shouting, hey, that's rubbish. But forgetting, hey, they aren't that good. So shouting doesn't improve that. So I knew that I had to get better players, and I worked hard on the assessment of players coming in. That was great. My communication skills my communication and man management skills, I felt were decent, and I was trying to improve that, and be forming a trust, Nathan. Difficult. They've got to trust you that you're telling them the truth. Truth's a great thing. Sometimes it's hard to tell the truth. Sometimes it's easier not to tell the truth, and you move on. You get out of that situation. All right, that's it. I've told a wee white lie, but they always come back. Eh? But you told me that. Oh, didn't mean. And you've got to make a bigger excuse. So, the biggest strength, a huge strength, is being able to tell the truth early on, and it gets you out of the situation. If you're hiding something, that will come back to haunt you, but not telling the truth. So I had to learn that very quickly. Tell the truth. If you think he's not good enough, tell him, and your reason why, and then he'll hate it at the time, but he'll appreciate it. And that's what I had to do very quickly. Mm. I wasn't good enough to tell lies. I don't know if that makes sense to you. Yeah, I wasn't good enough to tell lies. And
is it hard when kind of things are not looking so good to kind of keep morale up?
Sometimes people say, "Oh, they're no fit." If you get beat 3 games, "Oh, they're no fit." The easiest thing to do is, right, let's do another mile running. Let's do this. That's not the answer. It's all mental things, Nathan. It's getting into your head that you can do it. Why are you here? You're here because I or him thought you're good enough, think you're good enough. So getting into their head, convincing them they can do it, and giving them the space to go and do it without the fear factor. That is the thing. It's all mental attitude. Your mental attitude is your brain is the strongest thing. Your heart will respond, that's a huge machine, but it's getting the message, right, for your heart to your brain and your brain to your heart. That's the shortest journey in your life. But if you can connect these 2 organisms, you've got a chance. And that's what I was good at, getting the best out of them. Mm. Some of the team talks were not about football. They've done their football Monday to Friday. They've done it. They know what they've got to do. It's convincing them. If you're the underdog, it's convincing them that you can compete against them. You've got to convince them. But not just one. All of them. All of them together. Convince them that they can go and beat them or go and compete against the top guys. And that was one of my big strengths. Man management. You're a different person from me. So if I'm talking to you, then I'm just talking to you about something that will motivate me. It's got to motivate you, what I'm telling you about. I don't know if that's too simplistic or not, but that's what life's about.
Oh, that's brilliant. Really good advice. And how would you go about selecting players? What kind of attributes would you look for?
They've got to have a winning mentality before they go out. They've got to believe. And it's all, again, a mental attitude. During the week, Nathan, that's when you prepare your team for your performance. During the week, you're preparing them. I could say to you, right, I didn't need to go and woo. I can say, see last Saturday, see the shoot you had last Saturday? That was brilliant. See this week, same again. And then just walk away. How would you feel? How would you feel if I said that to you?
Fantastic.
And that's what was the players. That's what the players. Well done last week. That's what you need to say. And then at the training you would see the response. Hey, he believes in me. I'm performing. I'm doing the job. The hard one is when you've got to leave someone out for someone you think is going to do a better job. Because the person you're leaving out thinks he's been doing okay. Yeah? But that's the truth in yourself. Eh? That's when you're truthful. That's when you say, I've got to do this. I've got to say, I can't avoid it. Didn't fart about. Just say, won't. That's why I'm not doing it. Didn't try and cover that up by saying something else. Because then it gives him a way back in, and the conversation goes on, and you're at the end of that conversation, you're saying the thing that you should have said at the start. I'm not playing you because I'm giving somebody else a chance. You've not been performing, or whatever reason, and you've wasted 20 minutes going round and round and round when you're saying the same thing at the start. You understand that?
Yeah. Oh, that's great. Very good.
That's how I was successful, Nathan. Eh?
What do you think drove you?
I think initially what drove me, because I didn't fulfil my playing ambition. I didn't reach where I wanted to reach as a player, and this was giving me an opportunity. A guy, it's no. I was a good player, Nathan. So I'd believe, but I didn't have experience at a high level managing football players. That drove me to say, right, the first statement in the Dunfermline press, I got the job on the Monday. On the Friday, Dunfermline press, cheapskate board, they gave Leishman the job because he's cheap. Nah, that's it. I'm not cheap. I did it for nothing. How cheap do you want me to be? And that these things drove me on. Drove me on 37 to 38 after playing for them, you know, at a high level, and this I played for them at the highest level, and I managed them at the lowest level. We were in the lowest division, and we're beating Rangers 1-0 at Ibrox with 9 minutes to go. And we're the bottom of the old second division. We're beating Celtic 1-0 at half time. We're in the mid-table of the second division. But I saw the improvement coming. Hey, we're getting better. And then getting good players. Signing good players makes a good manager. It's about your team. Again, it goes back to your team. Getting good players to perform, and bringing the players that are not so good, getting them up to a higher level to perform. And it's on the mind. The training's important. The preparation's important, Monday to Friday, but sometimes it's easy to do that because there's no pressure on you. Right, Nathan, we're doing 600 metres, 200 metres, and that gets a fitness level. Eh? There are other ways of getting you fit, but what's hard about that? You know what I mean? No, it's just getting right, I'm fit. And then on Saturday morning you go out and you're crapping it. And it's not because you can't do it, it's just the nerves get to you and you didn't perform. It's all about the performance that people judge you on. Not what you do Monday to Friday, trying about, kicking the ball to your pal and whatever, out training. Saturday, 3 o'clock, that's when there's 20,000 at the stadium, you walk out and you farm them. That was it. And they knew I wanted to be there with them, but I just couldn't.
Wow.
But
was it difficult when you would invest in a player, get that relationship, that trust, see them progress, and then they say, goodbye, I'm off, I've got a better deal?
Well, you've been part of that success. You've been part of that success, you get somebody else. The hardest part is when you sign someone and you've realised very quickly that you've made a mistake. That is the hardest part. Because you've invested in this guy, he's come in and he's not met your expectations. And what I was good at, I sat him down saying, look, it's not worked out, I'm going to move you on and you can stay and fight for a place, but you're not going to get into my plans the now. Most of them says, right, I'm away then. Great, I'm away, you've been honest, I'm not going to get a game I want to play. Well done. And there was 2 or 3 I did that way. It's hard. You've got to take criticism yourself from that because you made a mistake. Very rarely that happened. I was lucky, but that didn't happen a lot of times.
Okay.
Because I thought, the majority of the time I was careful in who I was bringing in. Attitude-wise, fitness-wise, they were going to contribute and were going to improve the performance. So. And the players then responded to that. They would have responded to the one that I kept playing that wasn't good enough. They would say, oh, this is rubbish. He's playing him because he's signed him now. Admit your mistake and move on.
Well, very good.
Right.
So when you left Dunfermline as a manager, what was that like?
It was a sad time, to be honest. Sad time. I got offered a different job and I didn't want. I was still a young manager. It was the best position I had been in for years, and I just didn't agree with the board. They wanted to go and do a different thing, and I says, no for me, not for me. And I moved on, and I did pantomime. I got an equity card and did pantomime. I worked for the TV and radio and did that. But I thought I should have been funny all the time, and I took the wrong attitude towards that. The radio thing, I've got to make a funny comment, I've got to do this, make them laugh. So anyway, I started a landscape garden business. No garden too big, no garden too small. Pick up the phone and give us a call. We got some contracts and did that. I was in the burn, getting big stones out the burn for the rockeries and everything. 6 o'clock in the morning going. But then I got offered the Inverness thistle job. I went up to see them, and there was no jobs down here. So I went up there and started again. Started for the Highland League. And if I hadn't done that, I don't know where I would have been. Went up to Inverness. Lost my first 2 games, 4-0 and 3-0. I signed 2 players, took them up, and then I won my next 10 games, 30 points out of 30. And one of the games I'd lost 5-0 or 4-0. The 10th game that I won was against them. So for a 4-0 deficit, I turned it a 1-0 win. So the improvement was there, and just 2 players, and they gave them the belief. Changed 1 or 2 things, and the players loved it. They loved it. I mean, up there, because I told them the truth. Hey, come on, guys, you're better than that crap. What you're showing me. Sitting going, what's it about? And once we got the first win, 10 and 3 Manager of the Month awards. We got the Team of the Month awards up there. They loved it. I was the talk of the Highlands. Then I got headhunted got them to a cup final in Inverness Thistle. Got beat off Inverness Cali, they were better than us. Then I went to Montrose. Didn't really work out. Montrose, good chairman, good people, but the players didn't. So I just went in, I phoned them, went up to Aberdeen, Bonacor Glass, and said to the chairman, it's not working. I'm taking your money as a manager and I'm not producing. Not doing it. I'll stay on to the end of the year, the end of the season. I says, Chairman, I am not enjoying the job. I'm sorry. So we shook hands and that was it. And I come down here. I started teaching at Lauder College, Fife College, sports management for a year. And then I got offered the job at Meadowbank Thistle. Livingston, I went to see the project and it was brilliant. I said, this is real potential. Livingston, West Lothian, near the team, senior team West Lothian, this is it. So I went in there and my first year won the third division, they were in the third division, we won the third division. A year in the second division, won the second division. A year in the second division, won the first division. Went to the Premier League, finished third top. Celtic, Rangers, Livingston my first year. And then the next year, then I left to come back to Dunfermline. Livingston went on to win the League Cup, beating Hibs in the final. So that would have been my 10th year. I come back to Dunfermline. But just before it, I regret that because I'd love to have been 9 seasons at Livingston. Wow, it was just success, success, success. The crowds were averaging 8,500, 10,400 capacity. We were averaging 8,500. Wow. Amazing, eh? Signing boys for for nothing and transferring them for 1.2 million after a year and a half. David Fernandez, 1.2 million. Brotto went to Celtic, Javier Brotto, Martin Andrews went to Rangers. So it was recruitment. But during the week they were brilliant. Again, good staff. Davy Hay, great, with John Robertson, Alan Price, good guys that were good at what they did. It just all combined their strengths. The players loved it. Third top. Oh, half of them were getting released. They were getting released for their teams. And I was picking them up and turning them into, finished above the teams they left. How would you feel? It was great. So it was, and every home game, and it was just a great project. Then Dunfermline came back for me to go back to Dunfermline, and Livingston were starting to get problems. And no, with the football was great. It was the other investments and everything. Went back to Dunfermline for a year and a bit, and then the manager, he left. He got asked to leave. He wasn't a good pal of mine, and it wasn't what happened for him. And again, honesty, he had that in abundance. The honesty, he says, look, Jim, it's no worked out. It's just no worked out. It's no happened. It's time for me to go. And so he went. I took over. They were bottom of the Premier League when I took over, Nathan. And 3 games to go. Again, I took over on the Tuesday. Took over on the Tuesday, and I just sat them down. People were talking about fitness, nothing to do with that. People were talking about the rubbish, nothing to do with that. I just spoke to them. I can remember the speech. Look, guys, we're all here. We've all been born. You go along a straight line, then you die. We're below that straight line. And people are criticising you. And that's how you're going to get remembered. Before you finish your career. That you failed. You failed. Now we've got 3 games. The first game we got back to the line, the second game we'll go above the line. That's facts. Let's go. And I got into their head and got into their head. We didn't train till the Thursday. I take them down to Aberdeen Golf Club, went a walk along the Fife Coastal Path, come back, had a bar lunch, a couple of beers, had a chat, and then we trained on the Thursday, Friday. We won 5-0. First game was 5-0. The second game up at Dundee United, we hadn't won 2 games on the trot, we hadn't won 2 games, one at home, one away from home all season, and then we won my second game 1-0, stayed up. Next year I got into the cup final against Celtic, unfortunately, and kept them up easy. Then my wife took ill with the cancer, and so I stopped to look after her. Couldn't do both. Any regrets. She didn't make it, but The 3 months was, a lot of honesty. Sad time. But to go back and rescue your team that you supported and saved them, kept them up again, and got them to, I think that was their 7th or 8th cup final in Dunfermline. And I think I'm the first manager to take the team out to Hampden in a cup final that was a supporter.
Wow.
What a feeling that is. And your family's all up in the director's box and you're waving to them and you take the team out and you're a supporter.
Wow.
What a feeling.
Was it strange going back to Dunfermline?
No.
No.
There
was no kind of ill feelings?
I just felt my time was up at Livingston, 9 seasons, and I couldn't win the Premier League with Livingston. You know, Celtic and Rangers, or Rangers and Celtic, you can't beat with them. Their budget's something like what was it? My budget was 1.2 million. Celtic would have a budget of 60 million. Hearts and Hibs and Aberdeen, all these guys would have a budget of 20 million. And I'm finishing 3rd. That was like winning the league.
Wow.
That's like winning the league. You did your best and that's it done.
Wow.
It was great. A champion. And to go to Europe, 2 games in Europe. We never got beat at Livingston in Europe. Never got beat the 2 games. We got beat. 1 game we got beat for Sturm Graz, Austria. We got beat 5-2 across there and we beat them 4-3 here. So 8-6 on aggregate.
What would you say your highlight was throughout your whole time in football?
Scoring a winning goal at Ibrox, I think, when I was 17. 1972 Rangers. It's the last time Dunfermline won at Ibrox. We've never beat them since then. I've scored a winning goal. That was great. Getting promotion to the Premier League for the first time was great. I did it twice. Once as a player, twice as a manager at Dunfermline. That was great. To go to the top league is always great. To perform against the best performers, it's a great feeling. Pitching your wits against Billy McNeil, John Gregg, who else? Who was the top manager at the time? Jock Wallace. All they boys. And here's this Logelli boy, this young upstart going out. But my players never feared it, Nathan. They always thought, hey, come on, we've got a chance here. Because I made them believe that. That was great. That was great. Loads of great memories. You just need to look around, you see.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's brilliant.
It was fun. And getting an MBE down at the Palace was just fantastic. To go down to Buckingham Palace with my full family.
Yeah.
And be in the Palace and speaking to the Queen was just, and getting it was fantastic. And I got a great award through in Glasgow. Mark Beaumont, the cyclist, Chris Hoy, Sir Chris Hoy, and me. It was a Great Scott Award, and the winner is Jim Leishman. And I'm saying, wow. Nicholas Sturgeon presented it. I says, wow, yay, amazing. A Great Scott Award. I've got a Great Scott tartan and everything, but meeting so many famous people was great. But no, I had so many highlights. Just being, a highlight was getting the job at Dunfermline, getting a second chance at Livingston, getting a second chance at Livingston. If you get an opportunity and you didn't take it, you're a failure. I got an opportunity, I took it, and it was great fun.
And so all these different awards and things that you've received, what do they kind of do for you?
Well, I think it tells you that you've got something right. You know, when I got a Manager of the Year award, it wasn't me, it was us. It was our award. We did it, and I think that was one of our strengths. It was always plurals. It wasn't. If it wasn't for me or you, we can achieve this together. We're a team, and teamwork's a great strength, and that was one of my strengths. giving people credit for what they did. No try to say it was me and take all the credit yourself. That's just false, eh? That's not telling the truth. So that's what I was good at. And that's what the awards are. You know, I got an MBE for the football and some of the charity work. But, you know, when I look at my journey to get that award, it was a lot of people involved. A lot of people involved to get me. I was a leader, but you need assistants. You know, Churchill had assistants. Who else? Churchill, one of my heroes, and who else? A hero, Alex Ferguson. Assistants. He has people. You know, he didn't. The boys, the success didn't do it all themselves. They put things in place for people to do it, and that's what they get the credit for.
That's brilliant.
Aye.
And then becoming Lord Provost of Fife. How do you make that jump?
How do I make it?
Yeah.
I got a phone call. I was sitting. I can remember it. Tuesday night the phone rang, and I recognised the voice. Jim, you know, right deep. Jim. And it was Gordon Brown. Eh? Gordon Brown. Jim, I've got a prospect for you. A proposition. It was. I says, oh no, hope it's not the Wraith Rovers job. I says, because he's a Wraith Rovers. He says, no, I want you to try and be a councillor in Dunfermline. I said, a councillor? I says, Gordon, I'm not in Poland. No, you'll be very good, you'll be very... I says, oh. And it's on the phone, he was trying to talk me into, Jim, I'm away for a week. When I come back, I'll phone you, but think about it, please. See, and he phoned me back. Went down to his house. I says, I'll do it, Gordon. I'll knock the doors, I'll try and get in. If I get in, I'll give it a go. Well, I got elected on the Friday. The next Thursday, or 2 weeks later, full council, I got made the provost. So it was almost 2 weeks as a councillor, or a week as a councillor, and I've been the provost, the longest serving provost in Scotland, which is amazing.
Wow.
Amazing. And met so many great people. It's a job that I've enjoyed. It's a job that I want to do. And I want to do now, but I want to do it right. I want to do it right. So, you know, I get involved with the young carers, I get involved with social people that need a hand out, and just different things, eh? But I've enjoyed it. The longest serving. This is my third term. Third time I got elected.
Oh.
It's good fun.
How do you define leadership?
Simple. If you're telling the truth, admit your weaknesses. Don't be scared to do that, and make sure you have people around you that can do things that you can't do better than you. That's not a weakness, admitting that. It's a strength, saying, look, I'm trying to improve, but until I do it, I've got people that can do it properly, and I'm not saying I can't do it, but these boys are a wee bit better than me. And then that's what will make me a strong leader. Teamwork is the most important thing, no matter what job you're in. Alex Ferguson, teamwork. He's a leader, a strong leader, a good leader. Teamwork. Klopp, Pep Guardiola. You look around and you see all the people that are part of his team and communication. We are not good at communication. A bad leader is not good at communication. You've got to communicate with your staff, your inner circle, communicate with them. We used to have an honesty meeting at Livingston. An honesty meeting. Now, you would have been part of it as a marketing. I would have the chef there, I'd have the financial department there, the marketing department there, all this. And then sit in a meeting, right, what's the problems? And then somebody would say, right, that's, why do anybody else think that? Right, well, there, right. I think this is a solution to that problem. What do you think? Aye. Right, let's do that. Let's try that and see if we solve the problem. Solving now is going away because we're solving it. It's no festering and getting bigger. We're getting at the source, and that's what we did. We sorted the training out. We sorted the food out, proper food. It was all honesty means. Oh, I didn't like the food, the sausage. The chef, it's not me. It's the nutritionist telling me how to cook it. I says, guys, get a grip. They're going down to bloody McDonald's. They're getting hamburgers instead of eating your stuff. Come on, let's get the solution. And we did. I mean, that's how we finished third top. Really.
There's so much just great life lessons and understanding your mindset to approaching things and taking the opportunities. It's all, yeah, incredible. Thank you.
Yeah, that's what's happened, Nathan. It's no made up, eh? Nothing's made up. It's no things that I say, oh well, I read that in a book now. I was only a young man, so I had to do it, eh? I had to come up with ideas, and I did it.
It's fascinating hearing all the kind of people that you've met, things you've done, achievements that you've had. You know, it's what advice would you pass on to people who want a full life?
I think simple steps, Nathan. Eh? You know, when I started off, I didn't think I was going to be top of the Premier League when I started off. Target setting's easy, yeah? Target setting's easy. Target achieving's the secret. How do you achieve your target? Your target's maybe there. It's not achievable. That's stupidity. You know, when I set targets for the football, I never set a target of winning the Premier League or being second in the Premier League. It's not achievable with the teams I was with. So set targets that are achievable. Go there. I'll give you an example. I've got examples. Livingston, we got promotion to the Premier League, but won the third division, won the second division, won the first division, got promotion to the Premier League. And I says, right lads, the first meeting, what's your target? What would your target be, Nathan? I'll try and use you as an example. If you went to the top league for the first time, what's your target?
Win. Unachievable.
Celtic are spending 60 million, Rangers 60 million, I've got 1.2. If I'm catching them or going to get close, they'll just buy somebody else. And it's not achievable. Somebody else said to me, let's stay up. Of course we want to stay up, but we've been winning. For 3 years, 4 years, we've been winning, and you just want to be sitting bottom. No, we're better than that. You're better than that. Let's get mid-table. Right, we can achieve that as well. That's our target, because if we didn't meet that target, we can still set our next target, is staying up. But let's get a mindset early on that we can get mid-table. Let's do that. Right. Very early on, that we knew we were going to be in the top 6. So what do? You set another target. Let's get to the top 4. We can do that. So it goes, we're getting to the top 4. We can finish third. Let's set the target. I lost my first game against Celtic, 5-0 at Parkhead. My second game was Aberdeen, who was our competitor. We got beat 2-0. We could still finish third. Win our last 3 games, we can finish third. We beat Dunfermline. We beat Rangers at Livingston 2-1. We beat Dunfermline 4-1 at Dunfermline. And we beat Hearts at Tynecastle 3-2. We finished third. But I gave it so that if we miss that target, we can still get that target. So we always had something to strive for. And we finished third top. My God, Livingston, unbelievable. And then the next year, when I left, they got to they won the cup final. The same boys, brilliant. Dunfermline. 3 games to go, and I says, look, everybody's talking about you being hopeless. Everybody's talking about you getting relegated. We can do this. Why are we talking like? Why are they talking like that? So we've got to start with ourselves. let's win on Saturday, let's get it. And I'll tell you what a difference you'll see. But you've got to go out there and perform, man. 5-0, Nathan.
Wow.
The crowd. I went back, they were getting 4,000 people. When I went back for my first game in charge with 3 to go, 8,500 to give me a cheer on. I won 5-0. The second one, the game was getting delayed 10 minutes because the fans, they believed, and if you're negative, oh, you're no fit, you're no trying, all this. I gave the fans a belief, but the performance on the park, they believe that they can do it. 1-1, wow. But it's all about up here, man. You set yourself a target, Nathan, and if you achieve that target, achievable target, you set it, achieve it, then go again. Go again. Didn't stop at that, oh, I've achieved it, and start relaxing. Why, this is great. My God, I'm a success. How can I be more successful? So up here. So up here. That was my strength, Nathan.
Yeah.
Getting the best out of you. Hey, you're average, but that's in your mind, not in my mind. How can I get you above average? And how can I get you the best at what you do? If you get beat, Nathan, sometimes it's not a failure if you've done the best you can. Some of my team talks were different, completely different. For the Bible, you know, you're playing Rangers and you're quoting for the Bible, you're quoting for David and Goliath. And then Celtic, you're quoting for Martin Luther King. You talk about Martin Luther King in your team talk. Imagine that, eh? And you're going out to play a football game. I had a dream talking. What David did against Goliath. Rangers were Goliath coming through, they're going to beat you up because they think you're not going to respond. This wee boy called David, he took a step forward and instead of taking a step back, he fired the first stone. Goliath didn't know what to do. He didn't know what to do. He couldn't respond to that. Oh, I've never been in this position. Let's go and attack them. I had a dream. Martin Luther King. Don't judge a person by the colour of your skin. Whether it's brown, black, yellow, white, it's what's underneath the skin is a real person. Celtic put a Celtic green strip on, they think they're better than you. Take the strip off and look what's underneath. Is it better than you? No. Go and get it done. It's only a colour, it's what's underneath the colour. We won 2-1 against Celtic, we beat Rangers 2-0 in the Cups.
Wow.
The players, it was like a Jack and Ori. They couldn't wait on the stories, you know what I mean? Oh, what story are we getting this week? But they're all relevant to mindset about believing. Believing that you're as equal to or you're not inferior.
That's brilliant.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's when the boys, and you saw them growing up, they saw them saying, hey, he believes we can do it. Come on, let's join in.
Amazing. Jim, thank you so much for your time today.
It's okay.
It's been amazing.
Well.
So much.
Hope we get some
so much there to learn from. Yeah, well. I love it. I love it. Thank you.
No, great. And thanks for your time coming down.
Thank you for joining us on Legacy Conversations. I hope you've enjoyed it and found it beneficial. I'm looking forward to the next one.